Welcome to New Mexico Black Rifle Operators Union. I'm your host, Sean. You know, I saw this article earlier last week about the 21 Sharps rimfire cartridge, and it looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of benefits that it could give if that's what you did, is shoot rimfire cartridges all the time. My experience though with rimfire cartridges goes back, like everyone's does, to our early childhood, because that was the first caliber I really got exposed to, was a 22, like everyone else. So I'm kind of really against this, and why is because I'm tired of seeing like the 17 and now this trying to supplant the 22 long rifle. Now, I understand that the performance benefits. I get all of that. I absolutely do. But what I'm tired of doing is that during these ammo shortages, we're always having to hunt for our ammunition, period. And we end up seeing these things because people have wasted time manufacturing them, when this is a very niche product. We're not. Most people buy 22 long rifles because we have rifles or pistols that have been handed down to us, or that we bought new ones to train kids with, or to even just go out and, enjoy the sport ourselves without having to break the bank. And it would make sense that those materials would then feed that supply, because that is the largest supply. But that's not the case. And that's where I'm against this thing. There is something to be said about the performance hits. If you're a big-time varmint hunter, or you want that super accurate 17 caliber, I was impressed. My buddy Dex, he has a 17, and man, we were hitting shotgun primers that had been shot, the shotgun shells that had been shot out at 50 yards. We're hitting the primer, dead center of the primer every time. That's impressive accuracy. But what would it do on an actual game animal, like a small game animal? I don't know. I've never bothered to think about it. I do know this, that I've killed several squirrels in my entire life. Several hundred probably, let alone rabbits of all variety, with 22 long rifle. And I can tell you what it does is it makes it very nice little hole that allows for me to have table meat. And I don't know that 17 would actually do that. It would actually fly so fast and hit so violently with exchange enough energy to break up part of what you're trying to save for the table. So, this is why I'm anti-21 Sharps, is because you're going to see a lot of caliber. Here's where I really get into the weeds here, is a 21 is just close enough to a 22, that I could see people putting the wrong bullet in the wrong gun and having some sort of issue. Now, with something this small of a caliber, especially a cartridge case, the pressure is going to be limited anyway. So if it has any issues, I've not looked at the actual dimensions. If it's 21, it means it'll probably just skate down. 21 diameter, that is .21 diameter, would skate down a 22 barrel, no problem. Okay, probably maybe might engage some of the lands and grooves of the barrel, but probably not. Okay. Now, what would happen if somebody put a 22 inside of a 21? That's an interesting concept here, because depending upon how they cut the bore, it could be catastrophic, meaning that it would cause a bulge in the barrel, but I don't believe it would have enough power to actually blow up and throw shrapnel at the shooter. They definitely would break the gun, but it wouldn't harm them too much. And what would end up happening if the bore diameter of the 21 is actually that small, the 22 wouldn't actually fit in the chamber. It would be too fat, and it would cause a malfunction right away and wouldn't allow the gun to fire. But I digress. It's this whole mix of trying to build new ammunition calibers, even at the smaller spectrum, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Why don't we really, really look at what our forefathers did with things like the 243, the 25-06, the 257 Roberts? There's a lot of calibers out there that we have let go of, And while I understand doing rimfire is great, centerfire will always ignite better. You'll get better performance and better accuracy out of a centerfire cartridge 100% of the time. So I'd like to see that myself, better or different centerfire rifle cartridges than what we've got access to right now. The 6.5 Creedmoor, 6.5 Grendel, that's the new hotness. Most of us who have shot them and experimented with them were either impressed or weren't impressed. And that's because some of us really did dig the older rifle calibers to begin with. Like, share, subscribe. Most importantly, be great.